A tense moment right now for many of these riders and their crews. A chance to confirm their theories of the off-season and the training and the testing they've been through.
Well, they've all been through quite a bit of it, and to start the season off, it's no fun to spend it in the rain. And right now they've got threatening skies. They've had them all day. Fortunately, they took good care of the track. They covered it with plastic while it did rain. They took it off, and we've got pretty good conditions here as we're set to go.
All kinds of decisions, though. How many tear-offs do you put on?
Sure, yeah, what kind of goggles to run. You know, as you put more tear-offs on there, it gives you that milky vision. It's hard to see, so it's hard to decide what to do.
Number 1, Jeremy McGrath on the right. Getting set. He's used to getting whole shots here. Wants to see if he can win his 3rd in a row in Orlando, but it's Emig out in front. Emig takes the turn. He goes down. Look out. Henry, Lamson, Craig, they're held up in the roadblock now. Emig will end up last in the pack. Jeremy McGrath made it through. So did Lusk. It's Ezra Lusk in the lead.
Well, that's a shame for Emig. You know, he rode really strong in his heat race. Now DeHoop's down. Boy, it's just mayhem out there in this first lap.
Kyle Lewis has moved into the lead as DeHoop tries to get back on his bike. Lewis, number 15, followed by McGrath. McGrath getting through that jam at the beginning was a marvelous move.
Well, that was slick. Boy, he could have gone down easily, and you can see he's already picking different lines.
McGrath right on the heels of Kyle Lewis, leaps over Kyle Lewis into first place. You talk about wasting little time getting out in front now, and he's going to pour it on.
Well, he goes right for the jugular. You know, this is what McGrath is so good at. He doesn't waste any time. He goes right to the front where he can run his pace, which is blistering in those opening laps.
And that early roadblock separating McGrath from several of the contending riders. Lusk in 3rd place on the Suzuki. Here's LaRocco making the inside move on Henry.
Well, you can see he's got a glimpse there of number 7, Kudrowski. Look how muddy he is. I mean, vision is going to be a critical issue here tonight, and he's already got problems.
Let's take another look at the run for the whole shot.
Well, McGrath here right in the middle. You can see Lamson skids out into him, gives him, boom, right there, bumps him. Now he's got to stay off of Lusk. Right there, he runs right up on Lusk. That could be a high side for anyone else, man. McGrath is so slick to hang on to that thing.
And then he had the patience to get around to the right side of Emig as we see Emig down.
That's just dominoes right there. And McGrath, he is just so smart. You know, he's like in a school of fitness.
Oh, Ezra Lusk comes up short off the finish line jump. Bad break for Ezra, who had a good start.
Well, he won his heat race, and he looked fantastic. He was right there challenging for the lead, and now he can't get his bike started. You can see the disgust of his mechanic.
Lusk getting back into the fray now. That's 25. He's racing with the 10-year veteran Todd DeHoop, and Boulay hits the deck. That's a difficult area, evidently.
Well, they're coming down that first turn. You can see, actually, when Lusk came into the corner there, he's getting passed by one of the Honda of Troy riders. He almost crashed again in that mud. It's just difficult because if you don't stay right in the groove, boy, it's really slick.
LaRocco has Lewis in his sights.
And he's got to get him quick, too. McGrath's already starting to pull away. If he can pass him, that's the battle we've all been waiting to see. LaRocco up front in the early stages of the race and do battle with McGrath. Put pressure on him. No one has.
That's right, David. Last year, he had the fastest bike on the track, but he was always coming from behind. Right now, he's trying to catch up to Kyle Lewis on one of his favorite tracks. 2 of his 6 wins right here in Orlando, even though he didn't win here last year.
Well, he's taking different lines everywhere. He's trying to stay out of that roof so he can keep good vision. He's going to need it when he gets up to McGrath.
And LaRocco makes his move on Kyle Lewis. Rips a tear off in preparation for taking on Jeremy McGrath. Oh, this is the battle we wanted. And there's Mike LaRocco Sr. encouraging his rider on.
Well, you can see the intensity on the faces of all those mechanics. And right now, LaRocco's got clear sailing, but already, you don't even see Jeremy McGrath. He's completely out of the camera. LaRocco's got his work cut out.
Oh, this will be the battle coming up. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to Orlando, Florida. The first Supercross of the year. Kyle Lewis and Mike Kudrowski battling it out. Lewis back in 3rd place. Kudrowski wanting to move up after a fairly slow start.
Well, Lewis goes for the whole plateau on the finish line jump, drifts a little wide. He leaves the door wide open for Mike Kudrowski. He's back under the inside, but Kudrowski shuts the door.
That puts him back into 3rd. He ended up 3rd place in the points last year.
Well, let's see. Here's another look. It looks like, you know, it's just like what I had mentioned earlier. Lewis just goes too wide, leaves the door wide open, and Kudrowski takes advantage. You know, he saw that coming. He saw Lewis jump that plateau. He knows how hard it is to make that inside, so he gambled, and it paid off.
And he had the straightaway speed to keep the edge into that corner. Kudrowski, Lewis, and Doug Henry, number 4. Henry starting to make a move, cuts to the inside. Tried the block pass and comes out of it with power.
Henry, pretty aggressive move right there, you know, but again, Lewis leaves the door wide open, so, you know, what do you expect? Henry, it wasn't dirty at all. He just had to get in there and make the pass. He looks pretty aggressive right now, and I think he wants to stay with Kudrowski and hopefully catch this guy, Jeremy McGrath.
McGrath with 10 victories his rookie year, a record 9 victories last year, and the title once again. Let's go down to Jan Vikas.
Skip Norfolk, you are looking after Jeremy McGrath, and he is right where you want him right now. Are you worried about Larocco?
Well, he's got enough yet now he can watch him. Hopefully, if he can see himself pull away, he's pulling away just a little bit right now. That's the best thing for the confidence. When he starts wheeling him in, if he starts reeling him in, that's when you start worrying about him catching him. But right now, he seems to be pulling away just a little bit, and we got a lot of racing left.
How much of a gap does he have right now?
About 5.5 seconds.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on that gap. Thank you.
All right.
Well, I can tell you, Art, 5 seconds out there is like a week. I mean, every time you look back, you don't see Larocco in the picture, and that's a huge gap.
Especially with Jeremy McGrath. Came out for his lap in 12th place, and now is gunning for 6th.
He's a man on the move. Looks like he's 5 Lewis hit pretty quick. He's already got to put some distance on this for riders. There's a look at Ryan Hughes, number 9. He normally rides the 125. He's on the 250 this week.
Number 9. The equipment these riders are wearing makes them look like gladiators, but every piece of gear has a purpose. Jan Vikas took a look earlier.
Safety equipment is very important for supercrosser Mike Craig and also for recreational riders or motocrossers. Mike is showing us all of his gear. This arsenal all comes from AXO. Starting at the helmet, this is new for 95, made out of carbon fiber. Very light. It also has some new vents here above the visor so that if a rider's helmet goes down, the wind doesn't push it back. It actually lets it through this visor area. Another important area, of course, is the chest protector. This is for roost. If a guy in front of you, Mike, gasses it, throws rocks at you, that's going to give you that protection. Now, it fits lower than it has in the past here in the shoulders. That way, it gives you more protection in the neck, more mobility for the helmet. As we come down through here, we have some new dyes and new fabrics that keep it from fading. There's a kidney belt under here, and then we come to some high-tech nylon that comes down through these pants to a very special area here. This actually has 12 different panels that are made out of stretch Kevlar. The reason for that, it has to fit over this brace. Most of the riders do use this brace. It looks big and bulky, but does offer a lot of protection. Made out of Kevlar, carbon fiber, very light. A lot of high-tech work goes into the boots. Down in through here, you can see on the inside, this is some high-tech plastic, but it's not slick. It offers some grip for a rider to grab onto the bike in midair if he has to. And then it has a special locking system here, almost like a ski boot. You can lock that down, and then it has here a deflector to keep from knocking that open during a supercross. There's also some new high-tech work done in here. This used to be a steel plate. Now it is carbon fiber because the riders would land so hard they were bending the steel.
I don't think these guys realize how good they have it. You know, I had jeans with padding sewed in it. I had like a mailbox number on the side of my helmet, duct tape on my body. You know, I mean, now these helmet paint jobs and the carbon fiber and all the stuff that goes into this. I mean, they got trick riding gear out there. They look good.
And Larry Ward makes the inside move on Kyle Lewis, and he's free to look at 4th place.
Last year, he hole shotted this race, and he looked really strong for a while, only to throw it away and end up, I think, 12th or 15th or something. This year, he looks really strong. He's just got to be careful and keep it on 2 wheels.
That's right. He led the first 7 laps before the crash. Ended up 17th in the race. He's trying to reverse that process here today. Doug Henry, number 4, just passed Damon Huffman, who went down at the same place that Greg Albertine went down in the heat race and separated his shoulder. A tough break for the young man, Damon Huffman.
Well, it's particularly scary, too. There you see his mechanic finding out if he's okay, because what happens, he's got to go and ride the 125, and he's got to be healthy for that series.
Yeah, let's hope he's ready for Minneapolis in the 125 championship run. Doug Henry now has Larry Ward on his tail. Ward has a fast bike. He's been able to pick through the crowd pretty well.
Well, it's not only a fast bike, but he's riding good. There you see, out jumps Doug Henry off that tricky little section. Doug Henry dabs his foot down and gives Larry Ward the advantage. Look at that. They look at each other.
Hello, my non-factory Yamaha is going to take over right here. Larry Ward's in great shape coming into this year.
Well, it sure looks like it. Everyone's starting to fade a little bit, and he's making up time. Now, here's another look. It looks like Henry makes a little mistake right there, and he can't get the drive through these whoops up to the triple, and Larry Ward just has more momentum.
And while this action was going on, LaRocco bobbles went down. Kudrowski was able to get by his teammate, move into second place. LaRocco is back up and running now. He is currently in third. We'll be back with more 250 action in a moment. We're back in Orlando, Florida for the first Supercross of the year. Jeremy McGrath is out in front, but here is Mike LaRocco and Larry Ward. Ward is picking up on LaRocco, who has slowed down since the incident.
Right, ever since they crashed, you know, he's been out of sync and seemed to rise a little slower now here and there, and I can't figure out if he's got a problem or not, but Larry Ward's all over him.
Takes the berm and uses the berm. Ward now, he gets by Mike LaRocco. I think there's something wrong with LaRocco's bike.
Yeah, LaRocco's time, he can't jump certain things, and I don't know, it's hard to say if he bent a lever or what he's got going on there, but obviously it's something. LaRocco's capable of a lot more than this.
So we've got McGrath, Kudrowski, and Ward in that order with LaRocco and Henry.
Well, as LaRocco watches Ward pull away, he's got more problems with Henry coming up from behind.
Jan Beekes is with Brian Lennis.
Brian Lennis turns the wrenches for our second place runner. What are you instructing him to do right now, Brian?
Well, like right now on a racetrack, he got hung up in a bunch of lappers. So it's late in the race, and there's a lot of guys going pretty slow right now. So we got to get around that traffic and put it between who's ever in third right now, which is Larry Ward. And he's starting to close up, so.
But you're a long way off the lead, but yet you are really spurring him on there. It's that important to get out of the lappers?
It's early in the season. We want that speed up for the next races.
Thanks.
Ezra Lusk, a lapper, and Kudrowski getting by him easily is on the move. As you see, there's a lot of roost out there.
Well, he's reaching up to clear his vision, and here's Ryan Hughes making up time. You know, he was caught in that whole first turn fiasco, and you can see he's making another pass there on Kyle Lewis. Lewis, unfortunately, had a great start, but he's going backwards here.
An impressive run for Ryan Hughes, who's going to concentrate, of course, on the 125 Western Championship run.
Well, this is going to give him a boost of confidence, and he's having a pretty good run here. He's moving to the front. You know, he's looking good. He doesn't ride 250s all the time, but his main competitor, Damon Huffman, is on the ground and out of the race.
15, Kyle Lewis, and the next pursuer coming up on Kyle is Michael Craig. Haven't mentioned his name much since he got hung up with the Emming accident in the first turn.
Well, he looked pretty good in the semi. He put on a pretty good show for the fans, and you know, he's moving up, but I'm sure he'd like to be a little farther up. You know, he won a race last year, and he's the only guy that could really create problems for McGrath. And he's shown a lot of speed, but not a lot of consistency. And here he's doing a pretty good job of working his way to the front.
Michael Craig last year, the winner in Tampa for his lone Supercross victory. Finished out the year with Yamaha in the outdoor season, and now is with Honda of Troy.
He seems to be getting things sorted out with the bike, and he's pretty comfortable, and he's just chasing Ryan Hughes through the pack. Both these guys are moving up strong.
Ryan in 6th position and Craig in 7th with Lewis in 8th. And back out front, here's our leader, Jeremy McGrath. Flawless run. No reason to even look back. Let's check the interval between 1st and 2nd place now.
If there is a 2nd place somewhere in our future here. Geez, there's Lapper.
There's a Lapper.
Lamson's a lapper. Boy, that's got to be pretty demoralizing. He's his teammate. And there you get a look at Kudrowski. Boy, it looks like 15 seconds. I mean, that's, we talked about a week before. That's got to be a month.
Couple of years. A couple of years anyway. Here's Larry Ward in 3rd place.
And you got LaRocco coming through. And you got Lusk there, who ran up front and crashed. He's being lapped.
DeHoop a lapper, and here is the 5th place rider, Henry, to be followed by Hughes, Craig, and Lewis in that order. And Emmig, look at Emmig in 9th place now after coming out of the first lap in last.
Boy, he went down in the first corner, and he's made up some serious time. It'd be interesting to see how things would have gone had he been able to stay out.
Number 14, a disappointing first Supercross for John Dowd on his new factory ride.
You know, no one expected Dowd to do that well, so I'm sure he'll get better as the season wears on.
You see the lap time for Jeremy, and we'll be back.
Defending champions and holders of the past 7 consecutive Supercross titles. Honda, come ride with us. And by Suzuki. Right now, your Suzuki dealer has the ride you've been waiting for and the financing to get it.
And the cheers in Orlando are for number 1. The Knack-Knack Kid, Showtime, whatever you want to call him, Jeremy McGrath, on his way to winning the opener to the 1995 season. his 20th Supercross.